Hi, my name is Let's Play Princess. You might know me from such videos as Update February 2019, which was originally labeled February 2018, and the Danganronpa videos, and World's Hardest Game 4, and all this other bullshit. Today, we're gonna do a couple different things. First, we're gonna talk about fucking how the channel's doing. If you've noticed recently, some shit's kind of been going down. I only upload every like 2 weeks or so, and that's because we have a new roommate, and in the past it's just kind of been wonky internet. See, what we pay for is 15 megabyte per second internet, which is the highest we can get, like, at a time. It really never reaches that high, but it tries to. And it doesn't help that we have a new roommate who likes to play MMOs and shit at like 3 a.m. I was going to record this in the living room where we have a nice little table set up, a chess table in front of the two bookshelves that used to be in this room but are now out. So the living room's kind of the nerd room now. It's going to be where we do the recording and shit, except I don't know how often that's really going to happen anymore because of said new roommate who doesn't have a new job yet, and so yeah. And pretty much, I don't want him in recordings, but he's home 24/7. So it's kind of the same problem that we had last time. Now, that being said, I've been editing. I've been recording Valhalla. I want to record Danganronpa again. I have Darksiders 2 all the way recorded and just need to edit it, and I'm probably going to release those in a big huge batch so that way next month when Bloodstained comes out I don't have to worry about having two Let's challenges at the same time. Now with that in mind, let's get to the big real reason for this video, which is that a commenter on a video named Charles Anthony decided that I needed to talk about the Sonic trailer. Now behind the camera is my laptop, which I'm looking at right now, and I've written a bunch of notes from last night about the specifics of the trailer and stuff because I'm not going to superimpose any footage over this video. Everybody and their mother has done it so far. Instead, what I'm going to do is compare and contrast it to another movie that came out last year that I recently saw on Thursday, and it is currently May 6th or 7th. So last Thursday, I watched another movie that came out last year, is recently out on DVD and Blu-ray, called Bumblebee, which is a prequel to the Transformers Michael Bay movies. The reason why I want to bring these up and correlate them with Sonic is that Bumblebee does something that I think Sonic would definitely be improved by, and I don't know exactly how I want to word this, but pretty much, okay, let's just do a little background check, which I also wrote down. I grew up with both Sonic and Transformers. I used to wake up super early in the morning and watch cartoons before school, like at 6:30 in the morning. We had Beast Wars, we had Sailor Moon. I went on to watch Transformers Robots in Disguise. I went on to watch Armada. I didn't really watch Cybertron and Energon. I've heard they're like completely awful and that you just want to watch Armada and be done with it. Never got into animated. Transformers animated in 2006. I really want to go back and try that out. And Prime is like one of the best Transformers series of all time. I'm not even joking. Watch Prime. Do not watch the series finale movie though. It's kind of wonky. And I don't want to watch the new Robots in Disguise, the 2015 one, just because it's a sequel to Prime, and therefore I feel like it steps on everything that Prime did, because Prime ended in such a beautiful way. So that being said, Sonic-wise, I grew up with a Super Nintendo, and clearly played Secret of Evermore, which is why it was one of the first games I ever played on this channel. My friend next door, Steven DeLuca, and my cousins all had Genesis, so I used to play the fuck out of the Sonic games over at their houses. My cousins then went on to get a Dreamcast, and I played the shit out of Sonic Adventure. So Sonic has always been a part of my life. I watched the old cartoon. I actually still have a VHS with the Sloth episode of Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog and one other episode that I can't think of the name of. I watched Sonic Underground. I watched Sonic X. You know, I've played a bunch of the games. I watched the OVA. I rented it from Blockbuster a bunch of times. I like Sonic. I like Transformers. I'm a nerd girl who doesn't give a shit about your gender stereotypes. I will watch whatever. Power Rangers is still one of my favorite things of all time, and I really want to rewatch the entire series up to whatever the hell they're on now, Ninja Steel, whatever, Beastmasters, whatever the fuck. I want to watch it all. I'm that crazy. I'm the nerd girl. Calm down. So, with that in mind, I feel like that's why we need to compare and contrast. And I have this big, huge script, so give me a second. The Metroid Transformer movies have this inherent problem in them that Bumblebee felt like it destroyed, but the Sonic movie can't get away with it. Or get away from. To put it simply, Bay didn't make Transformers films. He made films that were how Hollywood figured Transformers was supposed to be. If you watch the new DC movies like Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and all those don't feel like DC Comics. Those feel like Hollywood's interpretation of what DC Comics are. Which is why I think the MCU does it so well, is because it doesn't feel like Hollywood doing the MCU. It feels like Marvel Comics in movie form. When I watched, the Transformers movies when I was like a teenager and shit, and you see all these different things in them, like revamped, super humanoid, super articulated Optimus and Megatron and everybody, you go, okay, yeah, this looks nice. The CGI budget is definitely going through the roof and everything, but do we need this? And the other problem is that Hollywood likes to put product placements and everything. It wasn't just Optimus. It was Optimus brought you by the Peterbilt 379. There's that famous scene in either the first or second Transformers movie where the Air Force One just has a bunch of fucking Mountain Dew in it. An Xbox gets turned into a Transformer. A Mountain Dew vending machine gets turned into a Transformer. Michael Bay and Hollywood just put all these different product placements into the movie, and it didn't feel like Transformers. It felt like Hollywood doing Transformers. But Bumblebee does something completely different. It doesn't feel like Hollywood made it. It feels like the cartoons made live action. The fact that they took, Bumblebee, made him such a simple design. Yes, he's a fucking Beetle, but, or a Volkswagen, or whatever the fuck type of car he is, because I don't give a shit. The fact that you can see the transformation, and it's not like 500,000 different parts, it's like 20. He feels like the toy. I feel like if I were to go and buy the current Bumblebee toy that you can probably get at Walmart still, and start to transform it from vehicle to robot, I would get the same thing that the movie animation does. And it wasn't, like the two Decepticons in the movie aren't, Apache helicopter, fucking Black Hawk, fucking whatever. It's just helicopter and jet. The fact that they show Cybertron in the movie and it looks great, and it feels like it's a cutscene from War for Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron, HD'd up the ass and given a higher budget, just made the movie so perfect. The fact that Cliffjumper is in it, spoilers, and he looks like the Generation 1 design. The fact that everybody looks like the Generation 1 design, and that Optimus by the end of the movie is just a fucking truck. He's not the Peterbilt 379. He's just a fucking big ass truck, which is what he is supposed to be. Okay, so my GoPro died, which kind of sucks because you're not allowed to film and record at the same time, which is fucking bullshit, but let's get back to this. So, like, everything about Transformers Bumblebee doesn't feel like a Hollywood movie. It just feels like a Transformers story on the big screen. It feels like what the 80s movie did, except, like, a little bit better, honestly. Which we can't say the same about Sonic. Look, I get it. Hollywood, you're trying so hard. And to be honest, Jim Carrey looks like he's having the most fun in this, and it looks like it's going to be a Robotnik / Eggman origin story, which I have no problem with. I know that that they've already announced that they're going to be changing the way Sonic looks, and I'm happy with that, but Hollywood, please push back the date. If you're doing this, I haven't heard you guys say anything about pushing back the date, but I have heard that you guys are changing the design. You can't do one without the other. Don't fuck these animators over. Don't hurt them and their families by making them fucking do a rush. Hell, we are making fun of the video game, Video games are doing this right now where they have to have these big, huge rush things to meet the deadline and everything. And everybody's saying, no, you can push back the date. Don't fucking rush it. And now you guys are doing the same thing. You're not video game developers. You're Hollywood. You have all the money. You have all the time in the world. Just fucking push it off. Like, goddamn. Jim Carrey, like I said, honestly feels fine, but that's more to the point that there are already versions of Robotnik that are like the big idiotic goofhead idiot. Hell, watch the 90s Sonic OVA for, an absolute version of Robotnik that would fit perfectly with how Jim Carrey's currently playing him. I could totally see Jim Carrey voice in the OVA Robotnik, or maybe even bits of like Sonic X, or the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. Because it feels like that. It honestly does at some points, and it's fantastic to see that. So, good on you guys for getting Jim Carrey to to play a character that, in some incarnations, has been this comedic goofhead. Or this goofball, I mean to say. Because it works. You got a comedic goofball to play a character that, in some interpretations, has been a comedic goofball. So, good on you. Now, the design of Sonic currently, which again, like I said, it's going to be changed, but we still have to talk about it with how it currently is, because it's so Hollywood that it's disgusting. And again, this goes back to Transformers. When Transformers was made by Michael Bay, everything was very humanized. They had these, like, human faces, and articulated, and eyebrows, and everything, and that's not what we want. We just want our Transformers that we grew up with. And that's what we want. We want the Sonic that we grew up with. Which, to be fair, there's like 3 versions now. You have classic Sonic, who's a little kid and correlates to the Sonic of the OVA in the 90s cartoon. You have Adventure and all the games up to now, who's a teenager or older and has the cockiness to match. This is the same Sonic we see in Sonic X. And then you have Sonic Boom Sonic, which, while the games for Sonic Boom are fucking horrible, we're not going to talk about them, and I've never played them, but we're still not going to talk about them. The show has a fair amount of moments in it, and it has a Sonic that's a very, it's akin to the Teen Sonic, but it has more of an adventure vibe to Teen's Sonic, I'm doing it because I'm the hero vibe. Teen Sonic does it because he's the hero and he's the good guy and everything. Boom Sonic does it because it's the adventure. It's Indiana Jones continuing to fight the Nazis because it's Nazis versus Lara Croft, I do it because there's an ancient relic. And that's the biggest problem here. Sonic doesn't feel like the spunky kid. He doesn't feel like the cocky teen. And he doesn't feel like the adventurer. He's some new thing that sucks, to be honest. He feels like a fish out of water who's unsure of everything. None of the Sonics I've named here would have gone through that meow scene that is now kind of infamous from the trailer with the shrug. They would have owned up and been like, "Hi, I'm Sonic," or they would have meowed more confidently, like, "Yeah, that's totally what a hedgehog does. They meow. They don't, it's not like meow, it's meow." And then Jane Masters, or Jane Marston, whatever the fuck his name is, would have shot him. But the fact that he doesn't, and the fact that he has to question meow and everything, that's not any of the Sonics that we know. It's just, it seems so fucking off compared to any other Sonic that has ever been. Look, I get it, Hollywood. You're trying something, and I'm willing to give this a shot, especially since you're meeting us halfway and changing the design of the blue blur. I still like the idea of Jim Carrey as Robotnik, even if it's not the look we all remember. And I am glad that, when I typed the script out, I looked at the cast and found out that the lady that's in the trailer is not some fucking human version of Amy. Her name's not, Princess whatever, God, Elise from Sonic 06. She's just random bitch. I'm so happy you're doing that. I didn't need a human version of Amy or Knuckles or Tails or anybody. They're fucking people in a world that also now has Sonic in it. I'm so glad that you went that route. And because of that, I am giving this a shot. And I'm willing to give this a shot. But I am also asking you that if this makes money, and I definitely see this making money, and you decide you want to make a sequel, because it definitely seems like that scene at the end of the trailer with the Jim Carrey more bald, with the big huge mustache, and the, Robotnik goggles. He's got all the mushrooms behind him, and I swear to God, if you're saying that's Mobius and those are the springs, whatever, I'll even accept that. Because if you do a post-credit sequence or anything, and you make a sequel, look at Bumblebee, look at the MCU, realize that we don't want a Hollywood version of this stuff. We just want what we already love, but on a higher budget.